All right, hey, welcome back to the learning outcome. I can apply the quotient properties of exponents. So again, I'm going to give you a quick example of this and give you some rules to follow, and then we will practice and answer questions in class. So quotient of powers property. Okay, so the first thing you need to recognize is that to divide powers, that's what quotient means. To divide powers with the same base subtract the exponents. All right, so this is going to look like a to the m over a to the n equals a to the m minus n. Okay, so that's the rule. Okay, so looking at an example of this, and again, if our directions were to simplify. Let's say we had x to the 7th over x to the 2nd. All right, well, we know what x to the 7th means, and you don't have to do all this extra stuff. If you know the rule and you figured it out, great. But I just want to explain how it works. Okay, x to the 7th is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 x's on top, and 1, 2 on the bottom. Okay, well, I hope you know from earlier in the year and forever that 5 divided by 5 is 1. So it's like those things cancel each other out. Like when we are solving and we divide by the coefficient, those cancel to 1. Well, x over x is 1. And this x over this x is 1. And what's left is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's. So this is x to the 5th. Now, you could have also got that just by doing 7 minus 2. But this is the visual of it. This right here is why it works to have this rule. So I want you to be able to visualize that. Okay, next up is the power of a quotient rule. All right, so for this, you distribute, this should be in white, but that's okay, distribute the exponent to both the numerator and denominator. Okay, so as a rule, here's what it would look like. A over B, all to the m. That would be the same as a to the m over b to the m. So both of these are going to get an exponent of m. So if we had, for example, simplify, let's say we have 7 over x squared. Okay, so to simplify this, both of these are going to get an exponent of 2, so we have 7 to the 2nd over x to the 2nd. Again, if it's a second power or something, even a third, if you know it, but 7 to the 2nd, you could simplify this as 49 over x squared. Either of these are okay, both. Okay, it'd be your preference. But let's look at one that's slightly more difficult on this problem. Let's say we have x to the 2nd over 4y. all to the third. Oh my goodness. Okay, so these are all going to get an exponent of 3. Everything. Everything. Okay, so here's how you could think of it. You could think of it as x squared to the third over 4y to the third. You can think of it that way if it helps you to visualize that. Okay, well, remember from our last video, x to the second to the third, that's like x to the second, x to the second, x to the second. That's going to give us x to the 2 times 3. I'm just doing the top, which is equal to x to the 6th. Hey, you could have also gotten that just by multiplying those two. Okay, here, down here, there's 2 parts, and each of them is going to get a third power. So that's like 4 to the third, y to the third. You can just leave it like that. If you off the top of your head know that 4 to the third is 64, then you can leave it as 64 y to the third, or just 4 to the third, y to the third. Either of those is okay for a final answer. All right, bring any questions you have to class, and thanks for watching.